Humayra. Oh, you? Nurfatin Shazwani. Nurfatin Shazwani.
Afiqah Humayra. Awni Hanani.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's forum session. We are excited to discuss a fascinating and thought-provoking topic: can money truly buy happiness? I'm Humaira binti Muhammad Muzaffar, your moderator for today's session, and we are honored to have an incredible lineup of panelists joining us. Ms. Afiqah, a financial advisor from Bank Negara; Ms. Aisha, a best-selling book author; Ms. Shamimi, a psychologist; Ms. Awni, an economist; and Ms. Shazwani, a senior accountant from Mega Holding. Without further ado, let us begin. Panelists, the stage is yours.
So I would like to argue that money can buy happiness because it ensures financial security. In my opinion, higher income allows basic needs to be met, such as debt and bills. This is supported by professional counselor and founder of Whitmire Counseling and Supervision, Sarah Whitmire. Sarah Whitmire said that money can bring about happiness or a sense of satisfaction that can feel like happiness because it allows security and reduce constant financial anxiety and fear. So the one with higher income can depend on their assets when they met an unexpected shock. So that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Shamimi, but I would like to disagree. In my opinion, higher income earners can be on working longer hours and carrying higher responsibility, as most of the time jobs during high-paying salaries often involve in tight deadlines. This will eventually lead to burnouts, which could well-being, proving that money cannot compensate for lost values.
Thank you, Ms. Shazwani. So I wish to add on that money will, while the happiness level does decrease while basic needs are met. According to research done by Princeton University, above a certain level of money does not yield more happiness. The data suggested that the correlation between salary on happiness of a person earning higher than 75,000.
Well, I'd like to insert here that money is not only to spend it on ourselves, but we can also spend it on others. So according to a research by Harvard in 2008, they made a research on students where they divided students into two groups. Both of the groups received $30, but the first group was instructed to spend it on themselves. Meanwhile, group 2 was told to spend it on children in hospitals. Now, it was reported that the second group experienced much more happiness than the second group. So this proves that spending money on others can actually facilitate on one's well-being because it increases their confidence.
Thank you, Aisha. I would like to argue that financial stability not only facilitates freedom at choice, but that allows wants and goals because money makes them achievable. For example, a person with more money can go to can choose their vacation, but the one with no money cannot choose what they want.
Thank you, Ms. Shamimi. I agree up to a point, but wants are endless. When people get more money, they do not stop wanting, instead they want more. Each fulfilled desire creates a new never-ending dissatisfaction. I say this because wealth boosts comparison and competition, so satisfaction slips away as soon as someone else has more. Borrowing a quote from the movie Forrest Gump, There is only so much money a man really needs. The rest is just for showing off.
Thank you, Miss Audi. What a strong point to start off round 1. Now, shall we move on to round 2 of the discussion, starting from Ms. Shazwani?
I'd like to make a mention to the hedonic treadmill theory, which were introduced by Brickman and Campbell in Hedonic Relativism and Planning the Good Society. Refers to the conjecture that humans swiftly return to, in proportion, stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative events that happens in life. I would like to include here, for instance, if a person purchases a brand new car, eventually the wealth will blend into the surroundings, which causes them to fixate into something else in the pursuit of happiness.
Thank you, Ms. Shazwani, for your point. Actually, if you use money correctly, you would actually find out that by using money, you can actually save time from mental burden by purchasing services like delivery, childcare, and cleaning. So basically, when you do that, you can actually use that time that was saved to be directed to relationships and hobbies. So this allows parents and caregivers for people that are taking care of their parents. They can send them to the elderly care place. So this allows them to balance responsibilities and well-being.
Money. But I think that money gives psychological boost for the workers. Laura M. Flash and Lance Fireball from Harvard said that people usually compare themselves with others. So they said that if I make more income than the one with older than me, I would be happier. So it gives them the sense of achievement.
Thank you, Ms. Shani. I see your point, but I think in my opinion, money is an extrinsic reward, which is external and tangible, which is also a contrast of intrinsic rewards. So it has a sense of purpose and personal satisfaction that comes from within doing meaningful activities, for example, spending time with your family. So extrinsic rewards in this context bonuses can impact on happiness when it increases, which makes extrinsic rewards not sustainable, unlike intrinsic rewards as they boost moral and increase productivity.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Abika. For me, I think even though the wealthy seems to be surrounded by an ample and loyal entourage, most of the time those friends tends to fade away. When the money diminishes, which highlights the difference between authentic friendship based on mutual respect versus tied to benefits, one person can provide for the other.
I see, that's a great point by Ms. Ali. However, money allows you to live in a wealthier area with much more clean and healthy food. Not only that, you can actually get access to gyms, and not only that, trainers to actually be there to prevent injuries and guidance. So also you are enabled to immediate health care because you are granted access, you are privileged enough to go to private hospitals instead of government hospitals, because government hospitals, as you know, we have to wait, and also private hospitals, they have better resourced healthcare providers, and they bear less stress than the staffs of government hospitals. And also they offer treatments and they use much more advanced tech. So this proves that money allows us to take advantage of wellness opportunities.
Alright, a huge thanks to all the panelists for sharing their perspective on today's topic. Can money truly buy happiness? We have have explored how money can ensure financial security and facilities, curb pictures of goals, or even cause isolation and loss of true friends. We now like to open the session for questions from the audience. This is your chance to engage with our panelists in regards of the discussions. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. If no, we hope today's session has enlightened your perspective about the relationship between human and money. Thank you everyone for joining us. Oh, sorry, do you have any questions?
Yes. So, money contributes to happiness only halfway. So, is it better to be rich or poor?
Is there any panelists that would like to answer that?
It's better for you to be rich actually. Because you can buy whatever you want and it can support your hospitality, your needs, rather than you become poor.
Alright. Is there any more answers you'd like to add? No? Alright, thank you. We'll end today's discussion.